Morning, morning. I want to welcome you again on this beautiful Wednesday morning to this Live Light production presented to you by Charles Botha. Our thoughts are mainly controlled by our subconscious, which is largely formed before the age of 6, and you cannot change the subconscious mind by just thinking about it. That's why the power of positive thinking will not work for most people. The subconscious mind is like a tape player. Until you change the tape, it will not change. Bruce Lipton. Yes, indeed, and today we are at our 4th milestone on our road to change. When you really want to change, watch out for your unconscious along the way. Challenging yourself will feel so threatening that you may rely on defense mechanisms such as denial to avoid facing your reality, because this will protect you from the anxiety of confronting some ugly truths about yourself. But it will only delay or even sabotage your road to transformation. Whether we want to know it or not, we all are creatures of habit. The reality is that, in short, most of our habits form to a certain extent our autopilot. Habit researcher Wendy Wood and her colleagues found already in 2002 that approximately 43% of daily behaviors are performed out of habit on autopilot. As it was explained in Psychology Today, habit formation is a process by which new behaviors become automatic. For example, someone who instinctively reaches for a cigarette after waking up has a habit, but to the same extent does the person who feels inclined to lace up his running shoes and hit the streets as soon as he gets up. Let's bring it a bit closer to home. Quickly think of your first 15 minutes after you've woken up every morning. Most of these things we do without thinking, because our brains are still busy waking up. So we get out of bed, go to the bathroom, have a wee, brush our teeth, and all these things we do without even thinking about it. And the very interesting thing is that most of these habits, this autopilot functioning, becomes part of our comfort zones. I want to challenge you this morning. Pay attention during the rest of the day on how many things you do without even thinking about it. And if you are going to do it, I can tell you, you are in for a big surprise. Quickly listen with me what Albert Einstein had to say about it. He said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." So, the stronger the habits are, which was compiled by logical reasoning, the more difficult it is to hear that still small inner voice that invites us to change. You see, the problem is we were brainwashed into believing that you don't rock the boat. You don't scratch where it doesn't itch. And then you start to become a zombie, moving through your days without even knowing that you've been alive. As someone said, following the path of least resistance makes both men and rivers crooked. So what you and I have to admit and have to realize today is that we all are functioning out of habitual autopilot patterns. And so wonderful to realize that all of them are not negative. So do you still remember the challenge? I've challenged you to just become aware of how many things you do out of habit. And only by becoming aware of our habits and having an honest look at our habits will we discover what needs to change in our lives. So in order to update our programming, we need to take 2 steps. First one, become aware of the programs, your autopilot, that are neither productive nor fact-based. Secondly, replace them with productive, positive, and fact-based programs. Join me, Sharbutter, next week again for our next step on the road to change. Be blessed.